If f of x equals tangent of 4x, find f prime of x. So to evaluate this derivative, we have tangent evaluated at something slightly more complex than just x. So we need to use the chain rule. The chain rule with trig functions, you're always going to use the argument of your trig function as your function u, the inner function. So this is 4x. So that the derivative of tangent u, so the derivative of your inner function, is going to be your outer function is tangent, so its derivative is secant squared. You leave the inner function alone, and then you multiply by the derivative of the inner function. So this works out fairly straightforward. We just take the derivative of the outer function, which gives us secant squared, leave the inner function alone, and it's okay when you type answers in. You can type in secant and then an exponent and then a 2, but you can't put a 4x like this without parentheses. You have to put the argument of your trig function in parentheses. Otherwise, the system will give you an error message. All right, so then multiply by the derivative of the inside portion. So this derivative is 4 secant squared 4x. And that's fine to put in. The system previously didn't allow for secant as a function. And so if you'll notice, most of the answers are written in terms of changing that into cosine, which is something that you used to have to do. You don't need to do that any longer.